Alright, so we're just a couple of more days away from the official release of Indiana Jones 5, The Dial of Destiny. We know people out there like Kathleen Kennedy and Steven Spielberg have been heavily defending this film as much as possible, and given that the box office projections are getting weaker and weaker day by day, and how even the Hollywood critics that should be more lenient with this movie have not been, and have really been going against Disney and Lucasfilm's treatment of Indy 5 and really speaking the truth about this movie, that's how basically unshakable this movie really is. We have a lot of the critics from Hollywood that couldn't even give it a good review, and even for the ones that did give it a good review, it's really a very slightly better review than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull for many. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into the subject, shall we? Now, we know that Kathleen Kennedy has been getting very defensive over Indy 5, getting very much worried about this film for obvious reasons. And a lot of this is rooted to what we've been talking about of how all of the major Hollywood studios want nothing to do with Kathleen Kennedy anymore because of all the box office projections and the reviews related to Indy 5, and it's come to their final realization that she has now tarnished 3 whole franchises connected to Lucasfilm. Star Wars, and of course, Indiana Jones along with Willow. And that is an epic fail on her part. Now, moving forward to what Kathleen Kennedy had to say is really something quite surprising, because once again, she goes on another run of getting very stirred up with the fans. Now, with Indy 5 just around the corner as Disney and Lucasfilm embrace the box office results to come in by this July, recently, Kennedy delivered the following to fans. Myself and James realize that this film may not be for everyone, but that does not mean that we have a doubt in our mind that this film will be a success. We believe it will be. We have seen these box office projections for the film being way lower than we are anticipating, and all I can say to that is it's phony predictions. That's all there is to it, nothing more. We have been tracking this film closely and have come to the conclusion that we are dealing with a group of angry so-called fans that are trying to ruin the experience for everyone else. And that is completely childish the way I see it. We are in full confidence that we will be making a great return both domestically and worldwide. We have no doubt about this film. It may not make as much as we had expected, but we believe it's going to go above and beyond. These outspoken fans just need to keep to themselves and mind their business because it ruins the experience for everybody else that wants to go and see this film. Now guys, let me stop here quick before I get to the next thing that she talks about, is that she is saying the box office projections are phony and that they are nothing more than inaccurate predictions. And look, I know it's not always final when it comes to projections, but usually they are pretty on point, because not only do they track ticket sales before the film even arrives, but they're also tracking, the movie critics and their reviews of things, and how that too impacts whether or not people want to even give this movie a chance. So that's why the box office projections are what they are, and there's also various other factors that go into it as well, very complex stuff. But yeah, Kathleen Kennedy really trying to deny these projections and calling them phony is a defense mechanism. There's no doubt about this. They are very worried about this film because it is going to give Lucasfilm a very bad image. And the fact that they are doubling down with this Rey movie, we've talked about this. This Rey film is going to begin filming by April of 2024. And given that that film is not set to arrive until give or take around May of 2026 because it got delayed, you got a ways to go for a film that fans aren't even asking for. I mean, let that sink in for a moment. From this point onwards, all the way until the middle of 2026, the only movie that we're going to be getting is a Rey movie, for starters. After that, it's most likely the Dave Filoni film, and then after that, it is James Mangold's movie, which, by the way, we've talked about this. He's not in the best shape right now for Star Wars. In fact, Disney is looking to firing him from the Star Wars movie, the first Jedi film, whatever you want to call it, Dawn of the Jedi, because of what's happening with the Dial of Destiny. They know that his presence is going to be carrying along with that with the Indy 5 failure. So, moving on, alright, Kathleen Kennedy goes on to state further and gets more defensive. Both James and Phoebe, along with Harrison and Steven, all worked so very hard on this thing, day in and day out, including myself, for years, and we are proud of our product. Any fans not wanting to see the final chapter of Indy's adventure is just flat out not a fan. Any fans not wanting to see this just need to wake up. Plain and simple. It's the truth. We don't tend to cater to fans like that, period. We like to focus on the next generation and how we can bring in new fans to experience new adventures over the future. We are still discussing a sequel, however Mangold isn't really interested, so we are also looking into who would want to take up that responsibility for the further tales and adventures of the Indy franchise. I couldn't be more excited, really. I am proud of where the movie stands, and I think fans will be blown away from the plot for sure. We have so many twists and turns in this one, it's going to make fans shocked. Now, again, she's kind of trying to sell this movie, you can tell. Saying that there's so many twists and turns and how, you know, if you're an Indy fan and you're not seeing this movie, then you're not a fan, etc., etc. It's almost like she's intentionally dividing people, and I don't know what the drive is for doing that. I don't know why she even comes out and says stuff like this, but it just creates more damage than good. I mean, that's the truth. So, look, Indy 5 is another prime example that Kathleen Kennedy doubles down, as well as Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who, by the way, took part in contributing to pieces of the script, mind you. She didn't write anything, but she told Mangold, let's do this or that, or put this or that into the story. She kind of did that too as well with James Bond, Bond 25 specifically, and wants to do that further with Bond 26. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, by the way, is also making a Tomb Raider series for Amazon. I believe that's correct. Not a movie, but a series. And there's been a lot of rumblings out there that she may even play Lara Croft herself, and that this is why she's using Indy 5 as a launching pad to kind of getting audiences familiar with her as an archaeologist, as someone that's Lara Croft-esque, right? So, anyways, this just goes to show you that everything related to Indy 5 is a failure. We know that it's a bait and switch once more. The opening of this film, we've talked about this, I won't dive into full spoilers, but the opening of this film, if you guys do see it, and I'm not forcing anybody to not see it, if you guys want to see it, fine, but whoever sees it, just be aware, the opening of this movie, it's gonna catch you. It's all about showcasing the de-aging technology. It feels like a real indie movie, and then within 20 minutes, that all just vanquishes. It goes to a broken man version of Indiana Jones, where he's like a drunk, he's all old, very lazy, very out of shape, etc., etc., very much like Luke in The Last Jedi, and it just goes downhill. So anyways, I would love to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.